Welcome to episode 167 of Build Your House Yourself University by BYHYU. I'm your host and fellow student, Michelle Nelson, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can be less stressed during the construction process and build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. If, like me, you're a fan of HGTV's Fixer Upper with Chip and Joanna Gaines, I bet you remember the Barndominium episode. They restored an old barn into a beautiful family home. Although barndominiums have been around for decades, that episode of Fixer Upper and the popularity of modern farmhouse and rustic chic decor have made many homeowners decide to build a barndominium for themselves. So, what exactly is a barndominium? Well, barndominiums are a type of barn, usually but not always made of metal. These metal barn structures are then upgraded, finished, and furnished to serve as a comfortable home, at least in part. They are an alternative to traditional stick-built new homes for homeowners who love the barn aesthetic and who want to live in an unconventional house. And although this style of house is not for everyone, there are a few practices and features of barndominiums that most of us can incorporate into our homes and home building experience, no matter what style we choose. Before we talk about those 6 practical and pretty features, I gotta give a shout out to Gowsy for your iTunes, now called Apple Podcasts, 5-star rating and review. Thank you for that, and thank you for subscribing. Subscribing is free, you know, and it's a great way to get new episodes as soon as they come out. And it's simple. Just search for the name of the show, BYHYU, that's BYHYU, then select the show and hit the subscribe button. It's that simple. All right, let's get into this week's content. Vicky, this episode is for you. Originally, barndominiums were living quarters built inside a barn, like a condominium inside a barn. Most barndominiums have exteriors that look like traditional or contemporary barns, and they have living quarters inside that make up a small portion or maybe the majority of the square footage. More historical designs have a residential area that shares space with oversized garages for storing tools and farm equipment, or workshops, sheds, and or stables for livestock. And the living and work or storage areas are all under the same roof. Some newer barndominium designs look like barns on the outside, but they're entirely residential on the inside. Once a homeowner decides on the desired square footage, the options for designing the inside structure are virtually unlimited. Now, what about cost? When they were first being built, barndominiums were almost always less expensive to build than conventional homes with the same square footage. And building a fairly simple barndominium can still be more economical than building a conventional home. But the prices of many of today's barndominiums can be on par with other new homes, depending on the complexity and size of the house. The cost of a barndominium can range from $50 per square foot to up to more than $150 per square foot, depending on what's included in the home. Some barndominiums are outfitted with many luxury finishes and fixtures that you might see in a conventional custom home, including beautiful custom cabinetry, stone countertops, stylish lighting fixtures, and stone or hardwood flooring. So, since you can spend as much for a barndominium as any other house, many folks are choosing to build barndominiums for purely aesthetic reasons. They just love the character and charm of a barn. If you do decide to build a barndominium, choose a builder and subcontractors who are experienced with barndominium construction. Specifically, look for a builder or contractor with experience in metal construction. Another option is to hire a metal building company and hire one or more contractors to help you finish the metal building with insulation, windows, and interior finishes. As with any other type of alternative house, finding the best financing for a barndominium may require some extra research and time. Some traditional banks will finance this alternative type of project with more money down. Some small local banks and some specialty lending firms, such as farm credit lenders, will finance barndominiums with no problem. All right, now let's talk about 6 design features or practices found in the construction of many barndominiums that can work well in more conventional homes too. Number 1, an open concept floor plan. As barns are naturally very open and airy spaces, open concept living spaces are a staple in barndominiums. And as you know, open floor plans are commonly sought after in conventional homes also. Although there are a few people out there who still like every room in the house to be separated by 4 walls, most of us prefer open sight lines. Open floor plans allow us to connect visually and conversationally with family members and friends, even if one person is in the kitchen and another is in the living room. Great rooms are an expansive area that includes the kitchen, dining room, and living room. And great rooms are typically found in barndominiums. Great rooms are a perfect way to incorporate open concept living in more conventional houses too. They allow us to be in the same space without being on top of each other. Great rooms let the cook feel less isolated, and they let you watch the kids playing while you're able to get a few chores done. Number 2, ceiling beams and trusses. You'll often find ceiling beams and trusses in barndominiums for structural or decorative purposes, and you should consider them for your conventional house too. Trusses, which are those large triangular-shaped ceiling structures, they typically give homes a more rustic or dramatic feel. Like trusses, linear beams add dimension and architectural interest, but beams are more understated than trusses. Either can be included in barndominiums or almost any style of conventional house. Choose stained and or distressed trusses or beams for more casual rustic or Mediterranean homes. And consider sleek painted or stained and sanded beams for a more contemporary or transitional house. Number 3, tongue and groove wood ceilings, feature walls, or soffits. Remember, the soffit is the sidewalk-facing portion of the roof's eave. It's not unusual for barndominiums to have wood or wood-look soffits, but you can also see wood soffits in very contemporary homes and styles in between. The tongue and groove feature walls and ceilings can be included in conventional homes just as they are in barndominiums. They add texture and warmth to any style of house, but they're especially helpful in warming up an otherwise cold contemporary space. Take a look at the show notes for example of these wood features in many styles of homes. Number 4, flexible, multifunctional spaces. Barndominiums were traditionally built to be spaces that combine living and working or storage spaces. But those living and working spaces could change over time to accommodate the needs of the homeowner and his business. Those of us building more conventional homes can take these concepts of multifunctionality and flexibility and incorporate them into our homes to help our homes grow with us as our needs and our family's needs change. For example, consider including a flexible bonus room in your home that can change from a playroom for toddlers into a homework room for school-aged kids, and then transition into a game room and lounge for teenagers. Or take one of the rooms in your house and let it serve as a guest room and office, or a craft room and yoga room. Number 5, home construction kits. A home kit is an unassembled house in a box that you or a contractor can put together on your land, and it costs a fraction of the cost of a traditional home. There are several home kit companies that specialize in barndominiums, but there are also home kits for conventional homes. Kit homes come in a variety of sizes and styles, from tiny homes on wheels to cabins and cottages to luxurious 3,000 square foot homes. And home kits come in wood or metal, depending on what type of construction you want. In general, it takes less time and money to build a kit home from the ground up, than it does to build a traditional on-site built house. This is one of the big appeals of going with a kit home, whether you choose a barndominium or not. But prices of kit homes do vary depending on the style you choose, the features you select, the square footage, materials, and finishes you include. One of the most economical ways to build a barndominium, or any house, is to purchase a kit. Some sources say you might save as much as 50% on the total cost with a kit. And number 6, build your house the way you want. When building a barndominium or a conventional house, explore your construction options. There are 4 main ways to build. You can hire a contractor to build your entire home for you from the ground up and let him finish every aspect of construction. Or you can hire a contractor to build the exterior shell of your home, and then you finish the interior on your own. Thirdly, you can purchase a kit and have a contractor assist you with some or all of the construction. And finally, you can buy a kit and handle all of the construction on your own, managing subcontractors and/or doing some construction yourself. No matter what type of house we each choose to build, we can incorporate features and practices from other styles that will make our homes more interesting, practical, and unique. That's all I have for you this week. I hope you'll join me again next week for another episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.